Hi, I'm Brenda. Welcome to Nan's Hidden Apron and welcome to my kitchen. My hair's a hot mess. Can't help it. Speaking of hot mess, we recently returned from a vacation. We went on a cruise to the Bahamas, to Ocean Key. I'm going to call it Key because that's what the people that work on the island call it. A lot of folks will call it K. Anyhow, we had a wonderful time. We came home. We had no air conditioning, 90 plus degrees. So that's why it's a little bit loud. I have a fan going back here. It's early in the day. I'm going to cook this before it gets hot in here. Yes, we have a company coming tomorrow, thank goodness, to replace our heat and air. Well, let's get on with this. Oh, hi Tom. Taco spaghetti. That's what I'm going to fix. Alrighty, I'm going to all in one pan even. So hopefully my hamburger is thawed enough. I grabbed this out of the freezer this morning because I woke up at 3:30 for some reason. I don't know why. I just do not know why. But I think this is thawed enough to go ahead and use it to get it fried up. We're just going to brown the pound of ground beef. Okay? You can take notes on it if you need to. I will ask Tom if he would please put the recipe in the bottom. Some people need the recipe written down. Some folks don't. This is coming from my head, so it might be good. It should be good. I mean, it's gonna... Taco pasta? Why would it not be good, right? I'm going to try not to burn any of it. But I'm going to let this cook. Get some browning going on. After that gets browned up, then I'm going to go ahead and put some seasoning in it. And then I'm going to remove it, put it in a bowl, cook the pasta, drain the pasta, put my picante sauce and some taco sauce in it. We'll mix it all up together. That's what's going on now. Okay. This is the pasta that I use now. It has the protein added to it. I really like this. It's a good, I'm not sponsored. This is just my favorite. And it is 14.5 ounces. Don't know if it's gonna, there we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and measure out all of my ingredients while the pasta, or while the hamburger, ground beef, we're country, we call everything hamburger, while the ground beef is browning up. I'm going to use a cup of picante sauce. You can use salsa, whichever you choose. It's all the same thing to me. All taste the same. So there's that. And then we have, I use mild sauce. You can use whatever taco sauce you want. Make your own. Make your own, that's cool. I don't know how to do all that. My mama was a can baby. She opened everything from the can. My dad grew up in the country where his dad grew all of the veggies. You know, homestead. Y'all call it homestead now. We call it farming. But my mom grew up in town. She never did get used to cooking stuff not in the can. But this, I'm putting 2 tablespoons of the taco sauce in. 2 tablespoons. Now for our spices. I'm using garlic powder. And if I can get this open. Oh, hold on. Hold on. There we go. Onion powder. As I've told y'all before, I made that onion powder. I grew some onions, dehydrated them, and it gets a little A little loud on the nose when you're dehydrating it, but it's worth it. It tastes so much better, y'all. This is a half teaspoon. No. That's 1 teaspoon. So, that's 2 teaspoons. Am I going to tell a story today? Probably not. I don't have one up in my head just yet. But, let me stir this hamburger over here. Ground beef. Okay. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. A heaping teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, I'll go ahead and put the cilantro in too. As you can see, this is dehydrated or dried cilantro. Big old heaping teaspoonful that I spilt everywhere. It's okay. My counter's clean. Just washed it. Now, the taco powder. Switching it to a tablespoon. And I'm also going to get me another container now, because I want 2 tablespoons or more of this taco seasoning. I'll tell you what I'm probably going to go with is, let's see, 3. Because remember, you're going to be seasoning your pasta as well. And then if that's not enough, you can always add to it. Can't take from it, but you can add to it. Now, back over here to the hamburger. Ground beef. I'm learning. Everybody don't call things what I do, and everybody don't just throw things together. They need a recipe. I got you. I got you. By the way, thank you for all your comments that you've been leaving on my videos. And thank you so much for all the new subscribers and those of you that keep coming in and viewing my videos. I appreciate it so very much. But we're just chopping that up real fine. Got it on a low heat. Like I said, I have no air conditioning, so we don't want to get it too hot in here. And then once I get all this mixed in together, we'll have it later on for supper, and I'll just put some in a bowl and heat it up in the microwave for us. And we're going to have leftovers for tomorrow, which would be officially Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Woohoo! Alright, we're going to let that finish up because you don't want any of that raw. And then I'll be back with you. Okay. Now, I want to get some of this grease out of here. And, you know, you drain it however you drain it. I use a paper towel. A lot easier for me to do it that way. I think a lot of people probably do this. But this has a lot of grease in it. Fat, grease. I use some more paper towels. If y'all excuse me, they're behind you. Ooh, a lot of fat coming out there. Excuse me. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our seasonings. I finally got all that out of there. Man, that was a lot. Just one more little swish around with this ground beef to make sure that it's all cooked. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my spices. I told you all what all I was putting in there. And we're going to give it a stir. the onions that I was telling you about, that onion powder, that was green onions, and you just wash them off and lay them in your dehydrator. And I can't remember how long I had it in there, how many hours it was, but if you have a dehydrator, I should imagine you would be familiar with it, how long it might take. But that's what it is. And you can do that with anything, like if you've got green onions in your refrigerator and they're fixing to go bad, go ahead and get them out and stick them in the dehydrator. You can do that with a whole lot of your foods. And that's our taco seasoning that y'all saw me measure out. Get it all mixed up. Then I'm going to pour this in a bowl and let it set to the side while I cook this pasta. Now I'm going to cook the pasta per the package directions. You'll have to read your own package to know what your directions are. Alright. There we go. And that smells so good. It is just past breakfast time, and I assure you that could be lunch. Okay, we have our water boiling, and now I'm going to put my pasta in. Now, if you're going to cringe about this, then you should turn your head. Fast forward. I'm going to break this pasta. I know a lot of people don't do that. They're just like, oh, you're not Italian. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm Scottish and French. French name coming from, it's pronounced two ways, rapier or rapier. Depends on what part of the country you're from. Scottish, coming from shearer, which was my father's name. Rapier, my mother, or rapier. Shearer, Scottish, my dad. I've got a story for y'all. We're going to cook this pasta. I'm going to tell you a story. My son just showed up. He's in from Tennessee. He's not in California anymore. He's in Tennessee right now. But I'm going to spend just a few minutes with him, then I'll get back with you all. Gonna add the rest of this jar of picante sauce. It's not very much, but I'm gonna put it in there. I've got some more just in case. Like I told you all, my son came in. He's still here. He's sitting over there. I'm making taco pasta. And that's Jessie. She's barking at the siren. I'm going to take a bite of this. I know Tom usually would. I am today. But just to see what else I need to add to it. That was probably only another 2 tablespoons of that sauce. So good. It don't need anything else added to it. I thought maybe I might need to put some more picante sauce or something in it, but I don't think I do. Let me get the guys to taste it and see what they think. Yes, it's not even 10 o'clock yet, but I think they'll give it a taste for me. That's good, ain't it?
Yeah, boy, that's good. Thank you.
What my brain can come up with sometimes. Oh, here he comes. Look at that. That's my son. That's my boy.
Oh, that's dangerous. You're gonna break that thing. Let's get a real bite.
Yeah. You like it? Okay. We'll see you later. See,
Stop.
that's Jessie. She's telling on him.
I'm not gonna steal it. Nanny gets to keep her food. It's good.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a story for you. Some people say stick to the cooking and not the story, but more people want the stories than not. So here we go. First thing I want to do is step over here and show you all, again, this finished project. Or, not project, the finished product. I do believe that I want to put some more. I think what I'm going to do is serve it with some salsa on the side. So if Tom wants to add more to it, he can. But meanwhile, well, first of all, still this hair. I want to show you all a picture. That's the first thing I want to do. Show you all a couple of pictures. Okay. That, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. That was my grandparents. Con and Nora. That was my grandparents. This was their home. Remember I said something about homesteaders versus farmers. Same difference. Well, no. Farmers work a lot different than the homesteaders do. But that was their home. That was the house that my dad was raised in. But I wanted to show you all my grandfather and my grandmother's home. I don't think this avocado is usable. No, I don't think we'll be having avocado with it. Okay. It's very hard. Very hard. But anyway, I was going to dice up this avocado and serve with our taco spaghetti. I won't now. It's certainly not ready. But we do have some green onion that I sliced up. Now, I'm going to heat this back up in the pan. Tom said just go ahead and heat it up like this, which is fine with me. It's either way. A long time ago, farmers used to trade services, you know, around their homes. I'm so sorry, I cannot get enough light in here. Okay, I have to put y'all over here and talk to you. But they used to trade like eggs for milk and things of that nature, you know, just farm things. Let me tell you my story real quick. There was this little boy back in the early 1940s. His mother had passed away when he was 2 years old. She had pneumonia, which would have been back in the 1930s. During that time, they didn't have the things they do today to help when somebody gets sick like that. But his dad never remarried. He lived right there in the country in his home. And him and his son. He taught his son how to hunt, how to fish, how to farm. They lived near a creek. So, you know, that's how they washed their clothes, was in the creek. And I think he spilled just a tad bite. But, yeah, he did. Yeah. And the farmer's son used to walk along the creek bank to go to their neighbor's farm. It was a couple miles away that he would have to walk to trade some eggs for some fresh milk. And milk for eggs, things of that nature. But the little boy would go there once every week. And Miss Andrews was her name. And Miss Andrews had a cute little country home. She lived in it by herself. She was a widow. And her husband had passed. And the little boy would gather up eggs and take them down and trade for a gallon of milk because she had a milk cow. He usually had a specific time he was supposed to go every week. Usually he would go at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so he went to Miss Andrews' house. And you can hear that wind blowing outside. It's been a very beautiful day, by the way. Back to the story. Getting sidetracked a lot, sorry. But the little boy went there to do the trade. And he knocked on the door and Miss Andrews didn't answer. And so his dad had always told him, if Miss Andrews don't answer, she's probably working out on her farm in the barn doing something. So just sit down there on the porch and wait until she gets home. Well, he sat and he waited for quite a while, and she didn't come home. And he knocked on the door again, thinking maybe she just didn't hear him. But nobody answered. And he walked around the house looking to see if he could find her after his dad told him not to. And he didn't see her. He walked out to her garden, walked over to the barn. The cow was there, you know. The bucket was still sitting there. It hadn't been milked. And he wasn't sure what was going on. He figured maybe she must have went on down to the neighbor's house. So there was a ladder leaned up against the house where some handyman had done some work on her roof, some patching on her roof. Well, being a little boy, he climbed up that ladder, and there he sat, up on the roof. He could see pretty good distance. He couldn't see his house. That's what he was looking for. He couldn't see his house. He knew his dad bound to be worried about him, but he didn't want to leave without doing the exchange because he didn't want his dad to be upset with him. So he sat there, and several hours passed by, I should imagine. And then he heard something, and he saw Miss Andrews walking around the back of the house. He hollered, "Miss Andrews, I'm up here. Hold on, I'll come on down, and we can do our trade out." So he climbed down the ladder, and he ran around the house trying to catch up with her. And he didn't see her, so he figured she went on in the house, so he knocked on the door. Miss Andrews didn't answer. He checked the barn, he checked the garden, nothing. He got a little bit scared because he just knew he saw Miss Andrews. The little boy went back up the ladder, and he sat there for a bit, waiting for Miss Andrews to come. And a little while later, he heard a noise, and there she went. He ran down the ladder, climbed down the ladder real quick, and ran around the house. She wasn't there. He just didn't know what was going on, but he was getting really scared because it was starting to get dark. And he just knew he was going to be in the biggest bunch of trouble. So he gathered up his goods that he took to trade for the milk, and he headed back to the house, just knowing that his daddy was going to skin his hide, as they would call it. He was going to get a spanking, for those of you that don't understand that. And he told his dad. He got home and he said, I waited and I waited and I saw her several times. But she just kept on walking. I couldn't catch up with her. And she wouldn't answer her door when I knocked. Well, his dad was like, you were probably playing in the creek and skipping rocks or something, rather than doing what I asked you to do. Chasing rabbits around or whatever. He said, we're going to go there in the morning and you're going to apologize and we'll make our trade and we'll be on our way. But from now on, you have to wait for me to go with you because I can't depend on you to do this for me. And the little boy got upset and he cried and he said, but Dad. And the dad said, no, you go to your room. You made me wait all day for all this and you go to your room with no supper. Yes, they used to do that. They used to do that. So the little boy went to bed and he just cried himself to sleep. And the next morning, they got up, they had him some breakfast. And the little boy's dad said, well, are you ready to go? He said, yes, sir. So instead of the little boy walking, they rode the horse down and to the neighbor's house. So they get there and the dad knocks on the door, no answer. And he said, well, she must be out there gardening. And the little boy told him, he said, see, Dad, he said, this is the same thing that happened to me. And I didn't want to come home without making the tray because I knew you'd be mad at me. He said, oh, boy, quit. Just stop. He said, but I did see her. I really did. She was walking around the house. I just couldn't catch up with her to know where she kept going. So the boy's dad walked around the house, checked the garden. They went down to the barn. They checked the barn. Nothing. And so he said, well, we'll wait. She's probably still sleeping. It's early, so she might still be sleeping. So they sat there for a while. They walked around some more. Come back, knocked on the door again. Nothing. And the boy's daddy, he said, this is not normal. Usually she's home and she'll answer if we knock. He said, I'm going to go around and look and see if the door might be unlocked. She might be in there not feeling good or something and just couldn't hear us knocking. So they went around to the back door and tried the back door, and sure enough, it was unlocked. And so they stepped in, and the man called her name and asked, said, are you here? Are you okay? No answer. So he walked into the kitchen and he pushed the little boy back. He pushed him back. He said, no, get back. I don't want you to come in here. Get back. He said, what's wrong, Daddy? What is it? He said, no, you go, boy. You go to the neighbor's house, the Gravitts. You go on down there and you knock on the door and you tell Miss Gravitt that she needs to get on down here right away. Her and Mr. Gravitt needs to get here right now. Well, the little boy ran on down the holler, following the creek line, and he got to the Gravitts. He had to go up a hill, though. He followed the creek line, and then he had to go up a hill to get to the Gravitts' home. And he got up there, and he told him, he said, Daddy said for y'all to come, and come now. So they got ready and hurried on down. They got the horse and the buggy, and they hurried on down the hill and then walked the rest of the way. They got there. And the little boy's dad told him, come on in, but he said, Miss Gravitt, you stay out there and you keep Lyle there, okay? You keep him right there. And so Mr. Gravitt went on in. And the boy's daddy said, this is just awful. It's just the worst thing. And they walked in, and apparently she had passed away. Standing there at the stove getting some milk ready to trade for the eggs. And she was laying in the floor, had passed away with her, the milk was spilled. And, so needless to say, they had to ride into town because back then there weren't phones, not everybody had a telephone or anything like that. So they had to ride into town and get the coroner to come out. And so the dad told the little boy about it, and he said, He said, but Dad, he said, there's no way. He said, I saw her walk around the house twice. And he said, son, I know that you all was right fond of each other and y'all kept each other company a lot of times. He said, but now she has passed away. Miss Andrews has passed away. He said, but Daddy, I saw her. There's no way. I saw her walk around the house. I chased around after her. I just couldn't catch her quick enough. So they had to let the little boy see that she had passed away before he would believe it. And he was so upset. So, fact or folklore? Did this happen? Did the little boy see her walking around the house? Did he see a spirit or spirit walking around the house, maybe? Do you believe in that? Because this is a good September-y, cooler weather kind of story for you. Fact or folklore? This story, is it true or not? You'll find out next time. Well, I'm going to put this fork back. No. I'm going to put this fork back away because that one's clean. Alright. Let me get some spaghetti, taco spaghetti out here. And Tom's going to tell me when to, whoa. This is a whole lot. This could do several days.
Whoa.
Okay, and do you want a little bit of green onion on it?
Yes, please.
All right.
Perfect.
We were going to do, as I said, we were going to do the avocado on it too, y'all, but we can't use that avocado. We just cannot. So, I'm just going to use this plate rather than dirty up another one. It'll be fine. Now, you can add whatever you want to this. If you want avocado on it, I think that would be really good to put with it. Your green onions, if you want to put some salsa on there, whatever you want. It's yours for the liking. There we go. So you all, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.